Hello everybody, I am Jake, aka Bomber, and we're here to talk about RPW's Ruthless Pro Wrestling's King of the Kill tournament. This is their first annual Deathmatch Tournament. It takes place on August 12th in Maybee, Michigan. Exactly one Saturday from today, so do not miss this event. Of course, if you can't make it in person, it will be streaming live on IWTV. What I'm going to do here today, I'm going to look at the card from front to back. We're going to make some predictions. We're going to talk about some wrestlers. We're going to talk about a lot of stats because I'm a stats guy and I like to look at unnecessary records and kind of look at this in a different angle from, the only way I do. So we have two matches that are non-tournament matches. Let's do those first, get those done, and then we'll move on to the tournament. So first of all, we're going to talk about the RPW Tag Team Championship match. We have the first ever RPW Tag Team Champions. Yes, they still have the titles. We're talking Midwest Scum are putting the belts on the line against Hardcore 69, Madman Pondo, and Shadow WX. I'm admitting right now, full ignorance, I don't know much about Shadow WX. I assume I'm even saying that right. I just recently was introduced to him at XPW's I Hope You Die show. I heard he's a Japanese deathmatch legend. So, no disrespect. I just don't know much about him. And I'm willing to bet if you're watching this video, you know who Madman Pondo is. Looks like these two are doing a little tour together right now in the US. They're going to a couple different companies. Like I said, XPW, there's a couple others, and they're coming here to RPW as well, getting a shot at the tag team titles. Now look, they are legends. I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but they're getting up there in age a little bit. And since this is, I assume, a temporary tour that Shadow WX is on, I don't know the details, I may be wrong, but I'm going to guess that they are not going to win the titles from Logan and Thomas here at this show. Midwest Scum have held these titles since 2021, and I think this is just going to be a big feather in their cap to beat two legends and keep the titles. We're going on 600 plus days still for Midwest Scum tag team title run. I'm marking it down right here. Midwest Scum wins, continue on as champions. Let's go to the next match. Schwartzy is bringing the Kamikaze championship back to RPW for his first title defense in RPW. Had a couple defenses outside of the company, but he's going up against Herzog.
This is your time to pay. This is your judgment day.
Yeah, so Herzog's a little different. He's a little bit of a mix of a druid, a shaman. I don't know exactly what Herzog's got going on, but he's going to be making his return to RPW since the first time since 2021. And looking back at his history, I'm just going to be honest here, just calling a spade, it doesn't look too good. Herzog is 0-3 with losses to Mickey Knuckles, Chuck Stein, and Josh Crane. Those are all respectable names. I'm not going to come in here and say they're nobodies. Obviously not, because they are. But I don't know. He hasn't been super active since 2021. He's had some matches here or there. He's coming back for his first time since 2021, 0-3. I'm just going to say it. I think Schwartzy is going to be added to that list. Herzog is going to go to 0-4. Schwartzy, like I just said, is making his first defense of the RPW Kamikaze title in RPW. He's got a lot of momentum going right now. And I don't want to make this look like I'm just, taking a dump all over Herzog, but just looking at the stats, man, just being a realist, just looking at it, I don't think it's in the cards. All right, so let's move on to the actual King of the Kill tournament. Match number one, let's talk about. Oh, and also, I don't really know the order of these matches. I don't know what round two is going to look like, the winner of each match. That's not determined. That makes these videos, the hardest part of these videos. But round number one, we do know the matches. And the first match we're going to talk about is Crazy King versus Dr. Redacted. Let's talk about Crazy King first. This is his first deathmatch tournament inside the United States, and really only his fifth match in the United States this year. As of me recording this, literally he just had a match against Cole Radrick, and he came up short, but I just watched the match back right before recording this, and it was a good match. But he lost, and you know what? That is what's going to make this interesting because of the 5 matches now. Well, he's had 4. He's lost 3 of them. This will be his 5th match, but he's lost 3. He lost against John Wayne Murdoch. He lost against Cole Radrick, and he lost against Alex Clone. 3 pretty high profile matches, but just like a lot of people this year, I was just introduced to him and I am impressed. His opponent is Dr. Redacted, a little wild, a little crazy, but Dr. Redacted has been on every RPW show this year. He beat Malcolm Monroe III in January at This Time It's War. He lost to John Wayne Murdoch in the main event at the Street Trash show, which, if you remember, that show actually made the monthly Deathmatch Rundown top 5 must-see matches of the month. So that was in April. If you haven't seen that, like I said, go back and watch it. And he just most recently beat Bobby Beverly back in June at Take As Needed for Pain. So looking pretty good for Dr. Redacted here. This is the wild thing. When you look at this tournament, you got 4 first-round matches. All of them have very exciting elements in each match. And for some reason, I don't know why, this match is the one I'm most excited about. I think it's the most unpredictable, and I think it's going to be crazy. A pun not intended, but it's happening. After only a few matches I've seen from Crazy King, I have no doubt he's going to put in a good showing, but I think it's got to be obvious here. Dr. Redacted wins, right? I mean, I think so. I don't know about you, but I think it is. So I'm going with the Murder Surgeon to win round number 1 over Crazy King, moving on to round number 2. All right, next match. Joel Bateman, he made his only appearance in RPW back in, I think it was July 2022. That's back when he defended the ICW American Deathmatch title against Neil Diamond Cutter. Otherwise, though, I mean, he's been doing his thing back in Australia. He's got a company to run. He's trying to keep the scene alive and well over there. And from what I hear in the little bit I see, because I'm going to be honest, I can't see everything everywhere. From what I see, things are going good. All I know is I thoroughly enjoyed his tour here in the United States last year. I'm hoping for another good run here this year. But his opponent is the human meat grinder, SHLAK. I know, elephants in the room. SHLAK has been tied up with XPW for the majority of this year. He's had a couple appearances, with the GCW and Horror Slam show and stuff, but mainly all of his success, which there's been a lot of it, has been in XPW as the king of the death matches champion. He's been having dominant win after dominant win. I mean, on paper, I think SHLAK has to be the favorite to win this match. When you look at the whole scene in the United States, arguably, I think it's hard to pick somebody that's been dominant as SHLAK has. This is going to be a hard-hitting match. I mean, expect some stray light tubes, some wild light tube shots, because, SHLAK's a little unpredictable when he's out there throwing them things around. So expect a lot of that. Having said that, I'm going out on a limb. I think Joel Bateman gets the win here. I think SHLAK comes in. I know it sounds weird. I just said how dominant he's been all year, but that's been an XPW. Things change sometimes when you step outside of that bubble. So I think SHLAK puts in a wild, crazy performance, but I think Joel Bateman knows how to beat SHLAK. And I just looked it up. This is SHLAK's first deathmatch tournament in 2023, which I didn't even realize that at first, but it is. And it feels extra weird saying he's going to be eliminated in the first round, but I don't know. I got a hunch. I'm going out with it, okay? I'm going out on a limb. SHLAK to get the loss here. Joel Bateman moving on to round number 1. I mean, he's not coming all the way from Australia, okay, to come in and do a one-and-done performance, okay? So, yeah, Joel Bateman gets the win. Next up, we got Tommy Vendetta versus Remington Rhor. I don't think it's too wild to say that in the deathmatch scene, not too many wrestlers have as much momentum as Tommy Vendetta right now. He's coming off of a big match in ICW against Hoodfoot, title match, by the way. And I don't know, I just think that the fact that he's on fire right now, he's a staple in RPW. In this tournament, nobody else has as many RPW appearances as Tommy Vendetta. And he's an original. I look back, the first show RPW put on, it was a combined show. I'm hoping that was the first show. I don't know. I'm just going off of the data that I'm looking up. Tommy Vendetta was on that show. So he's the only person on this show that is also a RPW original. All right, I don't mean show, I meant tournament. I didn't look up all that, just the tournament, that is. Throw in the Legos, throw in the momentum, throw in Darren McCarty. You got a pretty good run about to happen. But let's not ignore the carnivore, Remington Rhor. Oh, I mean, looking back, you gotta admit, hey, he's had mixed success so far. He's had 5 matches in RPW. He has won 2 of his last 3. His most recent match that he lost was against Randy West for the RPW Rust Belt Championship. And if you've been following my channel, you've been watching my content, you probably know already that I am a big fan of Remington Rhor's powerhouse deathmatch combo. Very cool hybrid style. Not a whole lot of guys have that going on right now, or ladies for that matter, but Remington Rhor has that almost perfectly figured out. So it should be no surprise that he is one of my under the radar favorites going right now in the scene that a lot of people should be talking more about. But anyway, having said that, the mixed success, he's good. He's doing well for himself, but he doesn't have that momentum. He doesn't have the Legos. He doesn't have Darren McCarty, like I just said. So I'm going with Tommy Vendetta here. Tommy Vendetta gets the win, moving on to round number 2. Last match of round number 1, Judge Joe Dred versus Hoodfoot. Wow, I mean, Judge Joe Dred has been getting his name out there recently, huh? He's been going for a little while. I was first introduced to him in XPW earlier this year. I know he did some stuff for XPW before that, but I mainly got back into the scene late last year and then this year. So I have just recently been introduced to him. Now, he hasn't been piling up a lot of wins. We're going to be honest about that. But this is his second big deathmatch tournament of the year. The first one was XPW's King of the Death Matches, but the little bit I have seen, I've really liked, and I think he's going to put on a good showing here. But what kind of makes him stand out, in my opinion, is his verbal skills. From the little bit that I saw, I mean, the dude can cut a mean promo. I've seen the way he talks in the ring, especially when he's talking to Big F and Joe in XPW. He doesn't, shy away from some jaw jacking, and I like that. It gives some more spirit. It's not just let's go in here and just beat the hell out of people. He likes to talk too. And that helps make him stand out a little bit. But he's going against Hoodfoot. Is that going to help you against Hoodfoot? That's the question. Now, looking up and down the tournament, there's only one person that's had more RPW appearances than Hoodfoot, and that's Tommy Vendetta. So Hoodfoot, number 2 in that appearance department. He's been here for a while. And Hoodfoot is the only wrestler coming into this tournament perfect in RPW at 3-0. He's got wins over Apollo Star, John Wayne Murdoch, and Satu Jin, 2 of which are ICW American Deathmatch title matches, by the way. And I was just talking about how a couple other wrestlers in this tournament are, kind of the hottest in the scene right now, or the most dominant in the scene right now. Well, I think, arguably, again, I think Hoodfoot's probably at the top of that list. Oh, and don't ignore the fact that he is coming off of AWR's Asylum Deathmatch tournament win just last month. So he's coming in back-to-back tournaments here, and we know Hoodfoot does not shy away from tournaments. He's been in a lot of them. But now he's got the momentum behind him. He's starting to win them. So look, I love seeing fresh blood make waves in the deathmatch scene. We're talking about Judge Joe Dred here. And I hope he has a fantastic showing. But come on. This match has Hoodfoot winning wrote all over it. In fact, if Hoodfoot does lose in the opening round to Judge Joe Dred, nothing against him, but I'm going to mark this down as one of the biggest upsets of the year happening right here. So I may be wrong. Who knows? It may be an upset waiting to happen, but I'm going to pick Hoodfoot to win and move on to round number 2. All right, so let's look at what we got so far. We got Dr. Redacted, we got Joel Bateman, we got Tommy Vendetta, and we got Hoodfoot all advancing from round number 1, of course, in my prediction. I don't know where to go from here, though. That's the problem. That's where it always gets tricky, always gets difficult. Who's going to face who? Sometimes you look at the card graphics and you can maybe, they're right there, then these guys are right there, so they're probably going to face. I've done this several times. That doesn't always mean anything. So now is the hard part, predicting who's going to face who in round number 2 and win. Here's where it gets a little crazy. So since I have nothing to go off of, looking at this graphic right here, I'm going to go with the top 2 matches, assuming they're going to face each other. It may not happen. Completely could be wrong. And then the bottom 2, I'm going to guess they're facing each other. May not happen. Let's do it. So that means Joel Bateman is going to take on Dr. Redacted. Man, I almost really want to pick Joel Bateman to win this. I mean, last year he came in from Australia. He came over here and won the ICW American Deathmatch title twice. He's no slouch. We know he's won tournaments over there as well. And making it to the finals here in RPW would be a giant statement. But man, Dr. Redacted has really been putting in so many good matches. So many good matches this year. I'm not sitting here saying he's due and this should be his year, but he just beat Bobby Beverly at the last RPW show. That's a big deal. As much as I want to pick another, in my opinion, it would be an upset with Joel Bateman coming in as the outsider, beating the tried, the true, the guy that's been there for all these shows. I think Joel Bateman would be the upset, but this time I don't think he pulls it off like he did over SHLAK. I think Joel Bateman does take the loss if he does face Dr. Redacted. Again, who knows? Which means I think Dr. Redacted is going to move on to the finals of the King of the Kill tournament. So who's he going to face? We got Tommy Vendetta and Hoodfoot left. Now that I think of it, I know a lot of stuff doesn't matter when you look at other promotions and stuff. I know I reference a lot of that. That's because literally over this year, I've been just consumed with every company. So I almost merge everything together. That's more on me. So I know a lot of outside stuff shouldn't matter, but we also just saw Tommy Vendetta take on Hoodfoot for the ICW American Deathmatch title and lose. And I know I just said that doesn't matter in the slightest, and it doesn't. But if they face off in round number 2 here, I'm going to go with Tommy Vendetta to get the win. Like I said, RPW original. He's been there from the beginning. He's got so much momentum. I mean, so does Hoodfoot right now. So does Hoodfoot. But I don't think if we saw Vendetta, especially if you watch and I just keep referencing other shows. I'm sorry. I watch everything right now. If you watch the other shows, it would not be a huge upset to see Tommy Vendetta lose. He has been killing it. I mean, you always got Darren McCarty out there. So anything can happen at any point in time. And if it is Hoodfoot versus Tommy Vendetta, I'm calling it right now a slight upset, if you will. I'm going with Tommy Vendetta to defeat Hoodfoot in round number 2 if they face off. That means we would have a finals of Dr. Redacted versus Tommy Vendetta. Now that I'm saying this, I'm like, no way this is going to happen. I feel like I got the round 2 wrong, but here we go. We're going on these predictions right here. We got Dr. Redacted, Tommy Vendetta. I've said a lot about both guys already. I've, broke down a lot of stuff already. So I think it's only just time to pick a winner. Ruthless Pro Wrestling, King of the Kill tournament, a stacked 8-man tournament. Who gets the first win going down in the history books? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm predicting Tommy Vendetta to get that win. Like I said, there's so much to me that I think is going to come through with all the momentum, everything going on. I know I've said that word way too many times in this video, but the fact that he is original, he's been there more than everybody else. He's a tried and true guy. He's been a RPW guy for a long time. I think this is going to be his tournament. He's going to go down first ever King of the Kill winner right here. 2023. Mark it down, stamp it. Bomber, Jake, aka Bomber, whatever you want to call me, marking it down. Tommy Vendetta gets the win. So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you heard going down every match, talking about each guy that's competing on this show. And I hope you let me know down below, who do you think is going to win the King of the Kill tournament? Let me know. I could be way off. Again, I think I may have got something crossed up in that round number 2, but we'll see. We never know. We never know. What I do know is this is going to be a good show from top to bottom, loaded card. Jobber Radio is sponsoring this event. If I was not sponsoring this event, I promise to you right now, right here, honest to God truth, I would say everything I just said right here in this video. It's going to be a good show. RPW absolutely killing it in 2023. They've done it in 2022. And as we move on, I'm pretty sure it's going to keep going to 2024. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, spread the word. That's the biggest thing you can do right now to help out Jobber Radio, help out what I do for the deathmatch scene, which is not a whole lot. I just run my mouth. That's about it. But I'm just trying to get the word out. I'm just trying to help spread the deathmatch wrestling world word. That's all I'm doing. All right, the video is getting a little long, so I think it's time to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much one last time. I hope you go out and watch this show. We're going to talk about it, break down the whole tournament on the monthly deathmatch rundown for August. That'll be coming, at the very beginning of September. Brain fart. But anyway, thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next video. That's right. I just picked Tommy Vendetta to win a deathmatch tournament, people.